This is Shalini, one of the expert OET trainer from Akshara Global Academy. So OET speaking side, easy akka. Let's see. So students are facing difficulty in OET speaking side. Why? Why? Because the medium is English. That is the one reason. Second reason is lack of their confidence. Lack of their confidence. Why? Fear. Fear to face exam. Fear to face the examiner. How to build your confidence? Through some ways you have to build your confidence. How? First, speak more and more. Practice more and more. Through that way, you can easily speak. Your fluency will improve. Second thing, think in your mind that the examiner is only a patient. Think only. Through this way of thinking, you can easily build your self-confidence. This is the one method how to build your confidence. So in speaking side, there are so many criteria is there. First one is linguistic criteria. What is meant by linguistic criteria? Your language ability, your language skill, your fluency, and your intelligibility. What is meant by intelligibility? How pronounce you, how pronounce each word, that is intelligibility. And your appropriateness, that means tone of speaking, resource of grammar and expression. These are the linguistic criteria you have to maintain throughout speaking. Next is clinical communication criteria. What is meant by clinical communication criteria? You have to build a relationship between patient and you. Relationship building. A good rapport between patient and you. In some patients it is very easy. In some patients it's not. Why? Because all our patients, they are facing such kinds of difficulty. Because some patients are very reluctant, even very reluctant to talk. Some patients are angry. Some patients feel their concerns regarding their condition. Some patients has fear about death because they are maybe the end stage of cancer, like some life-threatening condition. So they behave accordingly. Each situation we have to deal. We have to build a rapport between you and the patient. That is the priority. That is a key word in speaking side. How to build a rapport, good rapport. You are building a good rapport, then only the patient will convey their worries and concerns to you. Otherwise, nobody will share their worries and concerns to a third person. If they feel the nurse is very supportive, very motivated, and they feel relaxation through speaking, they feel very relaxation and they trust you, they will trust. Through this way of rapport building only, they will convey their feelings and thoughts to you. This is how you maintain your rapport between patient. So you have to use only polite word. You have to convince that patient in a polite way. You have to reassure the patient. These are the key words for success in speaking side. So information gathering. What is meant by information gathering? Collecting all the details from patient side. I told you, some patients, from some patients it is very easy because they are very cooperative. Some patients not at all cooperative. So the collecting information from their side is very reluctant, very challenging. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള പേഷ്യൻറ്റിനടുത്ത് നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ കളക്ട് ചെയ്യാം? That I tell you, you have to build a good rapport between patient and you. Then only they will convey their worries and fear to you. Otherwise not. Nobody will share to a third person to their personal matters or their personal feelings and thoughts to you. If they feel you are a good motivator and good supportive person, then they will share their thoughts and feelings to you. That is your success. So speak politely, more fluently. Convince the patient. Try to convince patient. This is a way how we have to collect information from each patient. And giving information. What is meant by giving information? In each task, you have to advise accordingly. That means if you are getting a reluctant patient, you have to convince that patient. You have to give some advices. As a motivator, you have to give some advices. Finally, they will agree with your advices. This is the way how you speak. And sometimes you have to give more explanations. This is the information giving technique. Through coming videos, I will show how you can act as a nurse in these situations. Okay, so first they will give you the settings. So നമ്മൾ ആദ്യം സ്പീക്കിംഗ് സൈഡിൽ തുടങ്ങുന്നത് സെറ്റിങ്സ് വെച്ചാണ്. സോ സെറ്റിങ്സ് മേ ബി different settings are there. Community nurse, home visit, clinic setting, hospital settings, emergency department. So depends upon the setting, you have to act as a nurse. That is your skill. For example, in emergency situation, a patient is coming with severely bleeding from his nose. So you have to speak accordingly to that situation, how you deal. So in that situation, casual talking is not appropriate. So you have to look setting, what setting they are giving. According to that setting only you have to speak. This is the important thing in getting good score in OET section, OET speaking section. Next, you have if they are giving your designation, then you have to act accordingly. Because if they are giving, for example, if they are in the task they are giving, you are a nurse manager talking to a patient who is reluctant to take his medication on time. That means your setting is hospital, your designation is nurse manager. You have to act as a nurse manager only. So depends upon if they are mentioning the designation, you have to act as accordingly. Next is understand the role play. You have to understand what the role situation is. And then to whom you are speaking, that also you need to know. Because every time is not a patient. You have to speak only, sometimes you have to speak to bystander. So for example, a task says like that, you have to speak to the son who is very anxious about his father's condition. That means you are talking to a relative of that particular patient. So if they are mentioning to whom you are speaking, then act accordingly. So that is very important. Next thing is time. If they are mentioning the time in speaking, you have to speak accordingly. For example, if they are mentioning like this, you are a nurse delivering lunch to a patient. That means it's a noon time. So you have to greet the patient accordingly. Because actually the speaking time is evening, but the task is the noon time. So you have to act according to the task. That is the thing. Otherwise you will lose. So time is also important, and you have to reassurance each patient. That is very, very important. That's a difficult thing. For some patients very difficult, because some patients are very reluctant to agree your advices. So that time you have to give more explanations. So this is the techniques. So first they will ask some warm-up questions. So these are easy questions to interact between examiner and patient. So first impression is the best impression. You have to speak fluently through that warm-up question. So for example, they will ask like that, introduce yourself, why you choose your OET, like that simple question they will ask. You have to answer accordingly. Then they will give you 2 role play. So each card you have to act as a nurse and you have to speak for 5 minutes. They will give you 2 role card. You have to speak fluently, you have to act as a nurse, you have to convince that patient, and the most important thing is using polite word, reassuring the word, understanding patient's concerns, convince that patient, changing your voice modulation, good listener, keeping a good listener. These are the important thing in getting high score in OET side. Finally, you have to conclude. You have to conclude that speaking. This is the way how you can get easy score in speaking side. So നമ്മുടെ വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടമായെങ്കിൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. You have to like, share and subscribe for getting upcoming videos. Thank you.